What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another JDM Car of the Month episode here in Okinawa, Japan. Today I'm with Josh. Where are you at, Josh?
Hey, what's up?
And his beautiful Eunos Cosmo. You guys might be looking at this car and saying, what the hell is it? Well, Josh just so happens to be like the Cosmo expert out here in Okinawa, so we're gonna break this car down today. Standard protocol, we're gonna do a little walk around, talk about the car, get in the car, maybe go for a little drive. Is that cool?
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, we'll see how this thing sounds. So let's go ahead and turn the camera around and check out this Eunos. All right, Josh, so go ahead and break this Cosmo down for everybody. I'm sure a lot of people are looking at this like, okay, you said Eunos Cosmo, really it's a Mazda. Mind chiming in a little bit on this car?
It's a 1994 Eunos Cosmo. It is the 13B. I know most people, when they hear the Cosmo name, they think, wow, it's cool, it's got a 3-rotor in it. It does not, it's got the little engine. The 13B I just ended up building. It's Bridgeported. I have a bunch of aftermarket mods. This is actually an Auto EXE demo car. So in the late 90s, early 2000s, Auto EXE paid for 5 cars to become their demo cars. This is number 3. It used to have a lot more Auto EXE parts on it, but the last owner didn't realize the value if he kept them on it.
Oh no.
He put them on one of his non-serialized 20B cars. So it kind of dropped the value in this one, but the serial number still does match up. It's 0000059.
Nah,
so,
that's awesome.
yeah, it's a really, really low serial. It's a 94, but the car was actually built in 1990 because mine's an S1. The reason being because it was never actually registered because it was a show car. And in Japan, if you don't register it for the first time from a dealership, the year moves and changes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The actual year of the car is a 91, but it's registered as a 94.
Very cool.
So it was a little strange when I was looking up stuff because that means the car's body is a Series 1, but I thought it was a Series 2. So it was definitely an adventure trying to figure out why my car was so different than everybody.
And with these cars, it's not like you can just go to your local dealership and find a Cosmo. You definitely had to do some research, some shopping around.
There's a Cosmo owners page with 500 members.
Jeez.
Of people that actually have Cosmos. I think about 3/4 of that Facebook page actually have their Eunos Cosmos registered and driving. The other quarter are, you know, they go broke because they're really expensive to drive. Like 6 miles to the gallon from the factory, I think.
So I pulled a little G-Wiz knowledge beforehand because I wanted to sound like I was smart with this car. I do love these cars, by the way. Ever since I've been here, I think yours is the only one I've seen driving around. I've seen a few car shows, and I had to reach out to him, and I had to find out more about this car. But there's, what, a little over 8,000 that were ever made from Mazda, and they were sold under the Eunos name. And back in the early 90s, Eunos was the luxury brand, kind of like Lexus to Toyota.
Yep, Cadillac, Chevrolet.
And looking at some numbers, the 20B model of this car, what it sold for back in the early 90s, is equivalent to like a $70,000, $80,000 luxury car today. And to Mazda, it's crazy. So this car was like the cream of the crop, probably what, the most expensive Japanese?
Yes, it was one of the most expensive Japanese luxury cars because they had a touchscreen navigation. It was the world's first car with a digital GPS inside of the car from the factory on some models. So this one's the SX, so it's the driver's car is what they sold it as.
Okay.
They didn't want to say base model. This one's the base model because Auto EXE stripped the car when they first got it, so they didn't care to get the one with the GPS. If you ever see one with it's a little bump on the roof. It looks very ugly, but that car is worth exponentially more than mine.
And that's for the GPS?
That is the GPS satellite that's
90s tech too. It probably wasn't
so
like...
cool. It's not accurate in the slightest.
So you're saying up here there's going to be a...
yeah, at the back glass it's like a foot by foot, and it sticks off the car a good like 6 to 7 inches. It's pretty ugly.
Awesome.
But it was kind of a sign of luxury because you had to pay extra money to get these things. And the fuel prices were insane at the time that this car was built.
Oh yeah.
They get horrible fuel mileage in the 20B version. They all came in automatic, so they were a touring car. There was no manual version of the Eunos Cosmo ever made, but it didn't really need it because, you know, it wasn't some crazy horsepower oriented car.
It was just something that you put put your foot down, and it has some nice power. Some like probably like the 5 Series Beamers that have all the crazy power, but they're not necessarily.
Yes.
Okay,
and,
got it. And this competed with M3, I think I read.
Yes, most definitely did.
This was head to head with M3 back in the day.
It fell behind on the performance aspect of it, just because BMW had been doing it a while, and Eunos, kind of was a new brand.
Very nice. All right, so you said you had a Supra big single turbo beforehand, and you swapped over to the Cosmo. How long have you had the car? When did you purchase it?
I bought the car in August of 2018, so I've not even had the car a year.
Not even a year?
Very close to a year.
Very close to a year.
Yep.
And I see him on a lot of the pages out here, a lot of the Okinawa car pages, and this guy is, I don't know, dub yourself as like a Rotary.
I'd say I'm under the wing of the Wandering Gaijin Tuning. It's a tuning shop out here led by Seth.
Yep, and I
mostly deals with rotary engines and rebuilds, so he took me under his wing very, very kindly. I do some work for him to get some expertise and kind of learn about them, because as soon as I got this car, I knew that I needed to go under someone's wing.
Hey, you're smart.
To try
you're
to figure out something about these cars, because the engine is quite different than an RX7, even though it has the same engine.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how the 2J can be turbo or non-turbo.
Mm-hmm.
You think about this one as the non-turbo version.
Okay.
It's much different. There are a few aspects that are the same, but a lot of it is different. So, when I Bridgeported it, I ended up building this entire car by myself.
Yeah, let's check out underneath the hood.
Yeah.
I saw this the other day because it was under the knife for a while.
Yeah.
It was under the knife, and I saw it at Cars and Coffee.
Because I don't really know what I'm doing.
Ooh.
I built the engine the first time. I did make a small mistake with the custom wiring harness that I made by myself, with only Japanese translations. And I messed up. I didn't shield one of the wires. The car knocked and detonated, and killed the first iteration of this Bridgeported car. So I pulled it apart, pulled it back out, redid my wiring harness again. It is quite sound and quite robust now.
It's good to go?
Yes.
Man, this thing is clean.
Because it knocked, it kind of saved me a lot of money, even though it did cost me quite a bit of money. The oil pressure regulator failed, and I didn't know it because I did not have an oil pressure sensor or switch on this car. So because it knocked, I pulled the engine apart prematurely, so the oil starvation didn't have a chance to mess up the car.
Nice. So better than putting it back together and then down the road.
Exactly. Yeah, because I would have put it back together or kept it together the entire time, and then it would have died from oil starvation, and it's very hard to find parts for this 13.
Oh, I believe it. Dude, I'm digging the color combo too. I even like the alternator.
Yeah.
The gold accent right there.
What's hilarious is the alternator is the only stock part in this engine bay.
Really?
Yep.
And I just love how it's painted black and all the wires are black tucked away. It just
my
super
wife
clean.
was tired of me going with black and red. Tired of me just going all black, so she told me to pick another color this time.
Nice.
She wouldn't let me spend money on it.
So this turbo is big.
It is a 9174 EFR, internally wastegated with a TurboSmart dual port wastegate and a TurboSmart blow-off valve.
Wow. Yeah. Sheesh.
The fuel system is fed by 2 Walbro 450 liter per hour fuel pumps into an AN8 feed line, all the way from the fuel tank all the way to the Injector Dynamics 750 fuel filter. From there, it splits off to 2 AN6 feed lines that go to primary and secondary rails. Primary injectors are the full function engineering fuel rails that are custom made for the Cosmo. Primary injectors are 1050 cc Injector Dynamics, and the secondaries are 2000 cc Injector Dynamics. Both ethanol safe, so when I go to the States,
you can run
I can
it.
Play around and maybe add a tertiary injector set in the lower intake manifold.
Nice. You got a lot of room in this engine bay too, which is crazy. If you like look at how much room is the 20. Is it because of the 20B?
It's because of the 20B. So this car, if I won the lottery, or I wanted to backtrack and start over with another engine, I could swap a 20B into it immediately, because the motor mounts on this car are the same as the 20B, because my rear iron is the same as the 20B.
Okay, very cool.
So the only thing I'm missing is the $6,000 piece of the engine, and then the $10,000 piece of the engine to make it a 3-rotor.
No problem though, right?
Yeah, but yeah, I can just spend that money like nobody's business.
Look at that.
The fuel system is, the fuel pressure regulator, I have the TurboSmart 1200 fuel pressure regulator so that I can control the massive amount of fuel that this thing uses. To kind of combat detonation and knock, I have an Aem water methanol injection kit on it that is controlled by its own controller, so it can put in different boost levels, different amounts. I have one injector that I'm going to put post turbo, and then the other one I'm going to put, or I already have, over here in the elbow. Right here, but it looks very, very subtle. I went ahead and got the black one, so you can't really see it too much besides the Aem brand. I did have to upgrade to an electric water pump because the stock water pump on the 13B was designed for 255 horsepower, and the car is a little bit over that now.
Just a little bit?
Just a little bit over
What would you say, about double, maybe more?
Well, without a dyno, it's hard to say, but I tell people around 500 because the turbo that's 3 sizes smaller is capable of that.
Wow.
Yep, but you know, because you don't want to be the guy.
Yeah. And then
about 600.
And then all the, you know, the keyboard warriors come out.
Exactly.
Those not 500.
I have never seen a dyno spit out a number that says about 600.
Yep.
So I say 500. It is, all the systems on the car are capable of making well over that, but I'm not pushing crazy boost. My methanol is not pushing towards the ragged edge. You know, I want to be able to, if I'm, you know, running short on cash, be able to possibly put base gas in it.
Yep.
If I absolutely need to. So I don't run towards the ragged edge anymore. Just because I spent about $20,000 on this engine last month. So.
Last month.
Yeah. But I had plenty of money after I sold my big single Supra.
Yep.
So I had a little bit of money to spend. The wife loves the car. Well, she hated the car at first because it was very ugly before the wheels got put on.
Is she still driving an RX7?
Yes, she still owns
So his wife has an RX7. That's true love right there, you know. Rotary marriage.
Yep. I made her a member of the Big Wang gang. I got the wing that used to be on my big turbo Supra. I bought it back from the guy that I sold it to, and I put it back on her car because that was her one request.
I love FDs with a big wing. I just think it looks so good.
Yeah, she had 2 requests for me. She wanted a big wing while she's in basic training.
Yep.
And she wanted her engine to be completely built. So I have hers.
The second one's a little bit bigger request than the first one.
Well, I already have all the parts because the company, I'm not going to name any names because they made everything right, that sold me the oil pressure regulator. They sent me a rebuild kit for free to apologize for the oil pressure regulator. They were very happy that nothing else happened from it and didn't destroy the very expensive turbo.
Yes.
So I have a whole rebuild kit. I have 2 extra 13Bs. So I'm just picking the best parts out of all of them to drop in hers. But she did not want it Bridgeported as hard as I tried.
Yeah.
She did not want to drive it. She drove this one for a little bit. She was very scared.
Well, I want you all to hear this car fired up. Like, everybody loves a rotary sound. If you don't, you're crazy. I'm just going to say that right now. If you don't love the sound of a rotary, it doesn't get you going, get the juices flowing, you need to check yourself. You may not be human. Man. Here we go. I just love it. This does have a dual exhaust, and it has the auto EXE exhaust on here. A nice JDM Band-Aid. And I love the rotor emblem. In the 90s, cursive script.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I love it. The back of this car just looks so mean. It is so fat. It almost has like a VIP style look to it.
Yes.
But the fact that it has a rotary engine, like, I don't know, Mazda, whoever was like on the engineering team was, I don't know, genius.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, let's try to get some of these people that have just way too much.
And it's a 2-door GT car. It's awesome.
It actually is 6 inches shorter than a JZX 90 4-door.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
And it is a 2-door car because the hood is so massive.
Yeah.
And the back glass sweeps for such a long time. It is, that's all the bruises in the back. I got used to driving the wife's FD.
And backing up.
I messed up. I backed up. I don't have reverse lights because it's manual swapped.
Oh.
Yeah, I manual swapped it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay, yeah, we'll get in the car here in a second. I definitely want to check this out.
I accidentally backed into a wall because it's twin plate clutch, and I wasn't used to it. I was used to her stock OEM FD with a really easy to release clutch pedal. I popped clutch, died, and rolled backwards.
Hey.
Broke my 1 of 5.
I like the JDM Band-Aid on there though.
Like
yeah, I do. I like it.
Together because the pieces all came out. I had the sticker. It was for my wife's because hers has a little bit of rust.
Yeah.
I was just gonna slap it over it and make it kind of a joke.
Nice.
But I ended up using on that one to keep it together.
This thing just sounds so angry right now.
Yes, it is.
It just sounds like it wants to go.
It's angry because it wants more fuel.
I'm hoping the camera's picking up the rotary sounds right now.
Hopefully.
It is just. Let's see if I can.
Right now, it's got 4 mufflers on it right now, and a cab.
Oh, I love that smell too. Just that typical rotary smell.
Two-stroke mix gasoline.
Oh yeah.
They have to mix it at the gas station. The locals understand it, but the Americans that don't know anything
They're
about
like, what is this guy doing?
Why is he putting oil in his gasoline? But you have to because, well, I don't have any of the OEM injection for the oil, so I have to mix it myself.
You want to go for a ride?
Yep.
We'll check out the interior.
Yep. So in here, we've got the Adaptronic standalone ECU.
Oh, wow.
TurboSource and Tuned by Sean made a custom jumper harness to work with the OEM automatic transmission flawlessly, and it worked beautifully until I popped the automatic transmission and had to manual swap it. I didn't have a choice because I couldn't find another Cosmo automatic transmission.
Yeah, I mean, like we were saying, parts are, you know, damn near impossible.
Very far and few between, and very, very far out of my budget.
Also wanted to point out, got the Busa running again. Just had to replace the battery, and she's gonna get some work done, but the Busa's here, and it's crazy. That bike has the same engine size as this car. All right, here we go. First time in a Cosmo. Could be the last time. All right, so there is the
race pack dash. Very hard to see in the daytime, but it's very, very nice in the nighttime.
And then we've got a big tablet right here. I don't know what's going on. Is this
This is my tune, my map, so that I can watch everything and make sure I don't have to spend $20,000 again.
Perfect. So I see your AFRs are looking pretty good.
Yep, I try to lean them out a little bit because at a Bridgeport, it'll let clean air come in and it'll throw off AFRs.
Hey man, let's get the AC going.
Yeah, right, no AC either. That's the worst part.
It is like 90 degrees here in Okinawa right now. I don't know how you're gonna drive this in the summer.
Oh, I already did last summer.
Yeah.
The reason for no AC is because it actually has never worked in this car.
Okay.
Because they have some crazy luxury AC. The compressor costs way too much money.
I believe it.
Oh yeah, and servicing it is absolutely ridiculous. So I just decided it'd be better to delete it for now, and then in the States, when I have the ability to get a custom-made bracket, I'll probably retrofit an RX7 AC into this thing.
Let's check out this interior real quick. So power windows. I'd be pretty pissed if this car didn't have power windows, you know what I mean?
Yep.
For a luxury car. But I mean, just even the buttons on the door, lock and unlock button, super sleek. Everything about this car is sleek.
Yep. So OEM, there's actually a speedometer over here, and temperature, and just a few little gauges for the passenger to kind of make sure that their driver, is going the speed limit. And then the stock cluster is notorious for going out because it has several circuit cards. The car is insane. It has several ECUs to control different things. The lifespan of these cars is not very large. Almost no companies made aftermarket parts for them, so everything is custom made about these cars.
Ooh, she sounds good. So back seat, I always hit the back seats on these cars, right?
Yep.
It looks identical to an FD back there.
Yep, it's very, very close. Just the really deep bucket seats that are absolutely unusable by anyone with legs. But a cool idea and a good option to keep the insurance price down.
Yep. Instead of it being a two-door, two-seater. Man.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. For a heavy-ass car to like
lift up the front end.
to tuck like that.
It's insane. I cannot go much more with the little JDM Stance Boy wheels that I got, because that's the reason the foam fender. Some of you guys are gonna pick this video apart. I have a foam fender to get me through the gate and to make sure the Japanese police are happy with my car as much as they can be. But the first time I hit the gas on a little bit higher boost, the wheel touched the foam fender and ripped it off.
Oh,
so
shit.
The one side, because the car torques down and to the right, it ripped off that side's foam fender. So that kind of sucks.
And you can't just go to, like, you know, the local junkyard and need a Cosmo bumper, Cosmo fender.
Oh, well, actually, those are completely aftermarket.
Oh, okay.
They're just universal, Amazon. I mean, this car is basically an Amazon build on a lot of the pretty boy stuff.
Yeah.
Just because...
I mean, the only thing that really matters is what's under the hood, right?
Oh, exactly. All that stuff's name brand, because in the last engine iteration, I put one cheap part on it, and guess what failed? The cheap part. It boost creeped to 26 PSI, and it didn't have the fuel system to keep up. But yeah.
Don't do eBay, boys.
Exactly.
Don't do eBay.
It was basically an eBay boost controller that failed, and it wasn't fun. It detonated again. The engine looked like Swiss cheese when it was done.
Damn. Sounds so good. Just spool it.
I love it. It's so perfect, because I got this car completely factory. It was all stock. That's the sticker thing for the all stock thing. That's kind of where I got it from. Just because I got the car completely factory. It's the only car I've ever purchased that had no performance parts on it whatsoever, besides the Auto EXE factory parts that were left.
Yeah.
This car has the entire underside of the car has a beautiful custom-made like bracing to make it, I don't know, ride rougher or something. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's amazing. And Auto EXE only made a few of them because you have to take a portion of the car apart to even get the brace on. So I'm assuming that's why it's still on the cars, because it takes so long to get off. The subframe has to come out, diff, control arms, everything.
How much did you get this car for?
I bought it.
If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, you're good, man. So in this condition, this car would have went for about 20 grand-ish, just because of what it was. I got this car for $3,500.
$3,500.
Yep.
Wow.
He
stole it.
Yep. Well, he was a friend, and he wasn't planning on taking it back because it had a few problems with it. When the alternators go out in these things, they usually fry a pretty big portion of the electrical system when they go out, which is just the worst design ever. But apparently the alternators last about 25 years, so nobody's really ever had the problem until recently.
Until you get the car. That's usually how it goes.
Yep, when the alternator goes out, it usually fries a portion of the dash and a little bit of the wiring harness because it over voltages.
Time out. Is the car rocking back and forth from?
Yep.
That's awesome. The car is literally just shaking back and forth.
Yeah, it's super fun because the Japanese locals that know anything about these cars, they can't stop staring at it because they haven't seen one since they were about 9 years old. And then the other half just absolutely hate it because it's so loud. But like I said earlier in the video, it has 4 mufflers and a catalytic converter.
Get a little pull action.
Yeah. Perfectly. Oh my goodness, that was about 22 psi. Okay. But very, very good in the richness. So the blue means it's rich, means it's safe, right? Lean is mean.
Yep. We don't want lean.
Yep.
Lean's when things go pop.
Yep. That's what happened last time.
All right. Yeah. I mean, this is so sweet. on the fly engine management.
Yep, Adaptronic, their M2000. It's a universal ECU that you can call them. They'll help you out on how to set it up. Like with my race pack dash, that's actually hooked into the ECU, and they helped me through that. So here, so
and it's all
noise a little bit lower.
Woohoo! Damn, pulling up to the car, me just blasted it away. And people running, ducking, cover, man.
Yeah, gunshots next to a military base.
Literally sounds like gunshots going off.
Oh yeah,
that's insane.
It's amazing how loud this car is, even with all the. And the thing is, it's not just 4 mufflers. It is 4 factory mufflers and the factory catalytic converter. Which a lot of you were saying, you know, with that horsepower level, why are you still doing that? Well, everything that we do here has repercussions.
Yep, everything.
Everything. The Japanese police are very nice. They're not biased. Wink, wink.
Yeah, right.
But at the same time, things that are blatantly too loud and blatantly too obnoxious, they have to tame it down so that way the rest of the population doesn't see them favoring us or something.
So we're cruising right now, right? Just up and down this road, and it is super subtle, super quiet, but as soon as he opens her up, you just hear the turbo spooling away, and then that anti-lag. Is it shooting flames, or?
I don't think it is right now, just because of the cat and the 4 mufflers.
Yeah, but when you throw maybe some straight pipes on there back in the States?
It would. Bridgeports are notorious for shooting flames, just because they use an excessive amount of fuel. They get about 3-4 miles to the gallon.
Jeez.
Oh, it's insane. They get about 5 in NFD, but this car weighs so much.
Yeah, you're probably just seeing the needle drop as you drive.
Oh, I don't even have a fuel gauge. I just have to fill it up every couple days. I don't have a speedometer. I don't have a fuel gauge. I don't have a gear indicator. These sensors that are all coming soon. I'm doing this by myself, so I got to figure out how to do it, because I have to tap into the stock ECU to allow the temperature gauge or the gear selector, all this stuff to work. And it's
because race car, man.
Because race car.
Because race car.
Yep. I have definitely ran out of gas like 3 or 4 times.
You got a badass tablet, looking like a Tesla in here, but this is a '94 Eunos Cosmo with like 80s technology.
Yep.
And you brought this car back to life with a freaking tablet.
Oh yeah. It's mainly so that I can make sure that everything is safe, everything's okay, and I'm not just absolutely destroying the car. But I made it all myself behind here, because it gets so hot in Okinawa. It's just a little magnet.
Oh, sweet.
So that I can take the tablet out and I can kind of put it under the seat so it doesn't overheat and stuff like that. And you know, the locals are very nice. They would never dream of stealing anything. Yeah. But the Americans here definitely would, just because of how we are as a culture. Yeah. So I make sure, make sure that all the, you know, the expensive things are tucked away, because the locks are iffy, and I don't want to lock myself out of this car and have to break a window.
Yeah, right? Dude, but the car, it rides super smooth. And we didn't even really talk about the transmission. So he mentioned all Eunos Cosmos from the factory came with an automatic transmission. However, this one's manual swap. How much of a pain in the ass? Is it a FD transmission?
This one is an FC Turbo II. The only reason that I went with an FC is because the FD has that wonderful thing called the power plant frame. I'm sure you're familiar of it, just being here. It's a brace that goes from the diff to the transmission, and that's the transmission harness.
Okay.
Like the actual mount for it. I don't have that, and I did not want to put the glass FD diff in this thing so it would explode. So I used the FC, the Turbo II transmission, because the horsepower capabilities are generally the same as an FD, and it comes with its own cross brace. And I did have to make a custom brace to fit it. I modified my own drive shafts, and for all of you that have ever seen that, I know that it needs to be balanced, but the highest speed on this island is not fast enough to mess it up. Plus, I did put it on a lathe, and it spun. It didn't have any crazy off-balance things. I made sure the welds still lined up, so it should be generally balanced. But as soon as I get it to the States, I'll tear it all apart, and I'll have a drive shaft shop modify it. There's just not a lot available on this island to do things like that.
So when are you leaving?
I leave February of 2020. I'm
Okay.
gonna go follow my wife around in the Air Force.
Okay.
Yep, gonna go be a male dependent.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man.
yeah.
Ride the wave.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
Ride
be
the wave.
fun. Well, she just wants me to modify her FD and make it a an eye catcher, kind of like this one.
Mm.
But little does she know, her car's common, mine isn't.
So, you said you're obviously you're on the Cosmo forums and everything.
Yep.
Is there another Cosmo out there like this one, similar? Do guys do anything like what you've done here, as far as like the manual transmission, big single turbo, or do a lot of people not mess with it because it's so expensive and such a pain in the butt to work on?
Manual swap is a very common modification. I actually ended up following most of that forum, pretty much to the letter of the law, to the T, with what people before me have done with a manual swap.
Okay.
That's about as far as what I could follow people from what they've done. I know that this was the first car with an Adaptronic ECU in the world,
wow.
with a custom jumper harness with the stock automatic transmission before, so I know that at least that has never been done. No company makes any ECU for these things. People just use the little super air fuel controller.
Yeah.
The Pexi Neo.
Yeah.
And they just hope it doesn't blow up. But other than that, there's really not, people don't really do a whole bunch to these cars just because there's not an aftermarket market for these things.
Mm-hmm.
There's no companies make much for them. Aem makes a few parts. I have the few parts that they sell. My front grille that kind of looks like a bird's beak, that is Aem.
Very cool.
Somebody matte blacked over the logo and all that stuff, which kind of sucks, but it's still there. There's not very many of those floating around.
I didn't even realize you have a wideband here.
Yep, had a wideband. When the car was first messed with, the first thing I did was install a wideband, because that's always the first thing you need to do in a turbo car.
Yep.
So
before you do anything,
because I had boost,
everybody watching out there,
I had boost issues, so I wanted to make sure that I didn't destroy my car.
So we get a little rev.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. One for the boys.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if we can get a little. Woo-hoo. Hey, it shoots flames.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's all the hotness right now, no pun intended, but look at this. You guys probably first saw this car when I was introducing it, and you're like, oh, that's a cool looking car. What is this thing? No, this thing's a monster.
Yeah,
And so much custom stuff has gone into it, man. Hats off to you, seriously.
So for all the people watching that are wanting to do their modified cars, okay, so you can see the sketchiest part of the car. Okay, I have the battery relocation in the trunk.
Yep.
The Cosmo comes with a fuel cell style tank.
Okay.
Just so you guys know that I'm not doing this and doing it right the first time. This is the first time I've ever modified a car this far. So, I still got stuff to learn. I got to clean up a little bit of the sketchiness. Yeah.
I didn't even...
Yeah, it's very,
oh,
very cool.
shit.
Yeah, it's it kind of feels like you're filling up an old...
That is so sweet.
With the tank on the top.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Yep.
Man, you're going to break necks once you get back to the States with this thing at a gas station.
It is definitely...
You're not going to be able to take it anywhere. People are going to be like, dude, what is this? Especially when you're pulling up with that rotary sound. A lot of people understand that rotary sound. They might not know what this car is, and they're going to be like, holy shit, what is this? Tell me about it.
A lot of fun.
Man, this is gonna be awesome. So February 2020, you don't know where you're going yet.
Nope.
Possibly the States.
Yeah, more than likely.
More likely it'll be in the States. He does have an Instagram. I saw it on your intercooler piping.
We can show you on
This is Josh Cummings. We'll get the exact. If you want to check this car out, I highly recommend going over to his Instagram, following this build. This is like, there's so much stuff going on.
From purchase to current date, try to post as much as I possibly can.
Especially for those guys that are thinking about picking up a Cosmo, and you want just a subject matter expert, definitely reach out to him. I'll put any contact information. I'll also put down Wandering Gaijin Tuning, their information down there.
Seth Bronson on Facebook, Wandering Gaijin Tuning. He does remote tuning. So when I first got this car running, he was TDY. He's SF, so he's gone a lot doing random stuff. And he remote tuned this one for a first start on a Bridgeport.
Wow.
That is what this guy can do over you know, over the web.
Yeah. So he's kind of like the big rotary guy out here. I got a lot of friends that have FDs, and anytime they need work done or need tuning and whatnot, they usually hit up Seth.
Yep.
So he's definitely reliable. American, speaks English, knows the deal out here. So
Most
definitely a connect for you guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's been a lifesaver on this one. I could not have done it without his shop and him helping me and taking me under his wing.
Nice. I definitely want to come by the shop one of these days, man. Check it out.
He never physically touched the car on this build, but the last builds he was, what is it, integral or whatever?
Yeah.
He was very, very important to getting this done the first time. And then after that, I just kind of piggybacked off, you know, what he told me I did wrong and what I screwed up. That's the great thing about Seth, is he won't pull any punches. If you mess up, he'll let you know immediately. Yeah.
It's a beautiful car, man. Can't stress it enough. Like, this thing is definitely one of the cars I probably will never forget driving, you know, riding it out here. I appreciate you taking the time and letting me come for a ride. Definitely put a smile on my face. I've been eyeing these on Gounet Exchange too, because they're out there, but they're not expensive.
Here, they're not expensive.
But when I looked into
stateside,
maintenance costs and looked into parts and support, I've never had a rotary. I would love to get in that game. I've always wanted an FD. I kind of wanted to learn the rotary engine. They're just so intriguing to me. But when I was looking in this car, like, oh man, something goes wrong and it's back in the States, like you said, I can't just take it to my local mechanic and be like, hey man, help me out with this. Like, you literally have to know the ins and outs and really like study these cars. And
another thing that's really cool about the Eunos is not a lot of them came with this box right here in the rear window.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know what that was.
It is an air purifier. Back in the day, you could actually get small little, kind of like Scentsy things.
Get out of here.
And it kind of melts wax and makes the car smell
brand
new again. I have a few of the pods left, but they don't smell like anything anymore.
Yeah,
I do have them in the original package, but they're just so old, they don't smell like anything anymore.
Can you just throw some Scentsy wax in there?
That's what I was thinking, but it's like it's a different kind of, I don't even know what to call it. It's not even like a wax. It's more like a gel.
A gel? Nah.
Kind of thing, because I felt it. It's very, I don't know, it's very strange.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, thanks for watching. Seriously, go check out Josh on Instagram. Go see more of this car. Thanks for taking the time. Like I said, man, beautiful car. He was just telling me that everything that he's done in this car, he's machined himself. Like, this is a truly built by hand, built not bought pretty much project. Like, last thing I want to touch on, this hood. This is actually the factory hood, and then he bought the scoop and had a shop kind of molded in there because they don't make aftermarket hoods for this car. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then just talking about some other things, but seriously, probably one of the coolest JDM cars I will feature. You know, kind of setting the bar up here right now. But if you think you got a cool car and you're out here in Okinawa and you want me to check it out, hit me up. But Josh, thanks, man. And stay tuned for more JDM car content. I'll see y'all in the next video. Later. Peace.